everyone, so this is my review for Angel. So here we have a blue eye, and I'm gonna do a close-up of this eye for the video so you guys can specifically see what I'm talking about. I have a few pictures here, so I see the full eye, but what I'm gonna show you is a little bit of a close-up, so you'll see the specific area I'm talking about. Because this is a very good photo where you can see the fibers, and this is what I'm talking about when I ask people to send me a very close-up picture. If this picture was sent to me from a very kind of zoomed out perspective far away, I could have said that this is a brown eye, just because if I can't see the fibers and everything is blending to look like brown, it could easily pass for a true brown eye. But this is a true blue eye because look at the fibers towards the edge of the iris. Do you see right where it turns from brown to like a greenish shade? Do you see how there's a white fibers underneath going, and they're crossing the brown? Can you guys see that? The fibers underneath is the true color. All of this stuff on top is just lymph, and it's chronic lymph, because lymph can be like lymphatic buildup. What I mean is it can be white, and then it goes to like a yellow, and it can go to like a light brown, and then a dark brown. So all of this stuff, as hard as it is to believe, this is all lymphatic buildup on top of the eye. And it's, as usual, specifically bad around the pupil, specifically bad on top of the pupil. Around the pupil is the GI area, the GI tract. So obviously, because that's where the food, when food and toxins from the food first enter the body, when you eat, that's where they go, right? So that's usually the dirtiest, most toxic place. Then also because the head area, which is in the iridology chart, is located right above the pupil. It's, again, just like in the body, the head is above the GI tract, obviously. That's where usually the most of the toxicity goes. So if you're experiencing headaches, equilibrium issues, tiredness, really not reacting as you should be reacting, maybe allergies, stuffy nose, congestion in the head, maybe pressure in the head, all of these things are completely related to toxic buildup. So start detoxing, you will see those symptoms go away. Okay, I have one family member, for example, they used to get a lot of headaches, a lot of allergies. They just started to become more towards the raw food diet, not even that far towards the raw, but just kind of more away from toxic foods and more towards the raw foods. And they've cut their allergies and their headaches down by, I would say, probably like 80%. And they're not even raw, or even like close to raw, I would say. But just from where they were to where they are now, it still makes a difference. So that's what I'm saying, that I find that a lot of the time, especially like long-term vegans or raw foodists, kind of take this all or nothing approach. And while for them it's all or nothing because they're comfortable, they've been on this diet for a long time, for a beginner, any change is really, really good, and any change is making a difference because your body is receiving nutrients and it's not receiving toxic waste, really. So it's processing stuff that's good for the body, and that makes a big difference in how you're feeling. So just keep on going. I'm seeing here that you started to eat fruits a month ago, but you still eat some meat. So just try to do as much as you can, and you do need to eliminate the meat because a lot of this brown is from the meat. Because meat is very toxic and it's also very acidic, and when the body has been acidic for a long time, that's how the eye looks. So your eye looks right on how it should look based on your diet. So you start to switch the diet, you'll start to switch the eyes. And no, you cannot switch your eye color without changing your diet. So you have to drop the meat. You don't have to drop it today, but the faster you drop it, the better. Really, you kind of should drop it now, but whenever you're ready. But try to, what kind of works is taking meat out slowly. So if you're having meat as the main part of your dish, try to make it like a side dish or like eventually like a garnish, you know? So it's less and less. So it's not your main focus. And at the same time, try vegan or vegetarian at least recipes, right? And when you're not eating a full meal, like when you're just like for example, like I'll have a breakfast and then I'll have in between meals and then I'll have a dinner, right? So, but all those in between meals can really be fruits. And if you douse yourself in fruits, then that's going to speed up your detox a lot. And then for dinner, try to go, instead of having like a meat side dish, try to go with like a meat substitute and have like a baked potato meat substitute and a big giant salad. Okay, so the salad is kind of the main part, and the rest is kind of like just little things. But make sure that salad is probably 3 times the amount you would normally have. So if you're making a bowl, say for your family, that bowl is now just for you, because you need to eat enough calories in salad to not crave anything else. So that's actually going to be a very, very, very large salad. So, and for now, as you're transitioning, just put into it whatever you like. The point is to eat as much raw as possible just for you to detox. Okay, and it's a process. If you're interested in my book, I go all about how to go from cooked foods to raw foods. So, and it's a step-by-step process that psychologically is the easiest on the person, where you're going from a completely normal standard diet to a raw food diet. Okay, so what else can we see here? So I do see some nerve rings, and that's just because basically everything is toxic, everything is covered in mucus, and your adrenals are not functioning properly, which makes your nervous system not function properly, and that's why we see a little bit of nerve rings here. They don't seem to be very significant to me. No, they kind of actually, maybe, yeah, they are. They're a little bit worse on one side than the other. But again, all of this will go away as you're going. Around the GI, it's specifically though bad because you could see that. Do you see those little lines going out, and then there's like breaks in the fiber as well, going all the way across the pupil? Well, they're called lagunas when it's a break in the fiber, and that just means that it's kind of it's starting to get into the tissue. So what you're seeing here is what is happening in your body, what you see in the eye. So if the eye has a lot of lagunas, that means that the body tissue is not doing so well. And again, all of this can be fixed, but you need to eat the right foods because the body can't handle any more of this toxicity. I also suggest getting a alkaline chart, and you can get those online, like a acidity alkaline chart. Just Google it and you'll see which foods are more alkaline and which foods are acidic. And that will tell you where you are, because ideally you should be on the alkaline side. And like, for example, when I started out on this diet, I was completely acidic. Completely. Like, I was almost not eating any alkaline foods. Like, I was eating just like meat, potatoes, just the worst stuff really. But I just didn't know better. So now that I switched, like, I had huge results. Everybody has huge results, but you do have to start. And I think you are already starting with eating fruits, so it's good. Just keep going, and just keep working every day on making it better than before, And a lot of it is recipes. Like, I can tell you from my perspective now that you do need a semi-good juicer. I would say that if you're in the market for a juicer, the one I have personally is Wings whole juicer. And I think if you're looking on like on Amazon or in stores, I think they're about $300 or something like that. But American dollars, or like 500 Canadian. But if you can, I got mine on eBay for $200, right? So you can get a deal on them too. So, but you have to have a quality product to make it easier, because the reason why I like Wings specifically is because you just throw the fruit in whole. You don't have to chop it, peel it. Well, you have to peel it sometimes, but you don't have to chop it, so it's a lot easier. But just having the right equipment and learning the recipes and trying the recipes. And if you fail at the recipe once, twice, whatever, it doesn't matter. I would say when you're starting out, just make a small amount and see if you like it, and then keep going with it. And just try like dips and simple recipes that are only like 2 or 3 ingredients, so you can't really mess it up, and then go from there and try to replace as many things as you can. So replace your juices with the juice recipes. Replace the easiest one is lemonade. If you make lemonade, you don't even need a juicer for that. You just squeeze 2 whole lemons into a jug of water and add some honey, or if you want to be totally vegan, you can add maple syrup, and it tastes awesome, and it's super alkalizing. So that's just the simplest one you can do, and you can always have that in your fridge. You can also do, instead of a salad dressing, because that's usually pretty toxic, you can do a mango dressing, which I believe is, I think I have it on my channel. If I do, I'll link it below. But I think it's like mango, avocado, something else. I don't know. I don't remember. Anyways, I'll link it below. And but just simple recipes, and then working up to a more complex ones when you are ready. Also guacamole, easy. I do avocado and hot pepper and like a regular pepper, and that works fine for me. You can add onions if you want, or whatever it is that you like. So but those 2 things really kind of help. So I hope this helps you. I think you are on your way. There is toxicity here, and there's a lot of lymph, but it's nothing that you can't get out. Just keep going with it, and you will see your eyes go to that green shade that you see on the outside of the eye. That's how your whole eye is going to go, and then it's just going to start to get lighter and lighter from there. So anyways, that's the review. If you guys are interested in my book, I will link that down below. Also, if you would like me to review your eyes, I will link all of the information of how you can send them to me. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.